Treat me like an option. I could never be a main dish, but they only hit me when they're drunk and when they're bored. When they're sitting in the drive-thru of McDonald's asking me what I want, I say give me a large fry, a Big Mac and a Diet Coke. But most importantly, give me a milkshake. Ice cream, thick, cold, melty and sticky, vanilla, chocolate or strawberry, whipped cream and a cherry ice cream. For ice cream, thick, cold, melty and sticky, vanilla, chocolate or strawberry, whipped cream and a cherry. The other day I told him I loved you, but I think I said it too soon. So now I feel like I might throw up in the bathroom. He said, hey, what did you say? I didn't hear you. And then I played it off and I said, nothing, 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 nothing. But I just have one question. And I said, did you bring me my milkshake? Ice cream, thick, cold, melty and sticky, vanilla, chocolate or strawberry, whipped cream and a cherry ice cream. For ice cream, thick, cold, melty and sticky, vanilla, chocolate or strawberry, whipped cream and a cherry. Ice cream, thick, cold, melty and sticky, vanilla, chocolate or strawberry, whipped cream and a cherry ice cream. For ice cream, thick, cold, melty and sticky, vanilla, chocolate or strawberry, whipped cream and a cherry. Saw you in the queue at the post office Tuesday. Same coat, same height, same way of holding still. I reached out and I touched your sleeve before I caught it. And you turned around and you were someone else entirely. I said sorry to a stranger in a post office queue. For 2 seconds thinking he was you. It keeps on happening, the shoulder, the gate, the back of a head in a crowd at the station, the laugh from the next table at a restaurant that sounds like yours for half a second, then it doesn't. And the crash of that half second is its own specific kind of breaking. I'm apologizing, strangers who look like you, touching sleeves on busy streets and backing through crowds. I only entered cause I thought I saw your face and found someone else standing in your place. My grief is going out without me, haunting strangers now, making scenes in post offices and train station crowds. I'm apologizing to strangers who look like you, because you trained my eyes to find you, and my eyes don't know heard your ringtone on someone else's phone last Friday. In the middle of a meeting I went cold. 3 seconds of an old default notification. Suddenly I'm somewhere else entirely. 6 months old in the grief sense. 6 months old in the grief sense. Starting over in a boardroom, holding still. Everyone kept talking and I nodded at the right times, while internally I stood beside you standing still. The body has no filter for the almost. It fires before the brain can catch the error. A code, a laugh, a ringtone, half a profile, and the heart is already run ahead to meet you. And the heart has to be called back, embarrassed, empty-handed every time. I'm apologizing to strangers who look like you, touching sleeves on busy streets and backing through crowds. I only answered 'cause I thought I saw your face, and found someone else standing in your place. My grief is going out without me, haunting strangers now, making scenes in post offices and train station crowds. I'm apologizing to strangers who look like you, because you trained my eyes to find you, and my eyes don't know you're gone. I saw you on the bus last week. Window seat, headphones in, reading something on your phone. I held my breath for 4 whole stops, convinced, completely, stupidly convinced. And then he looked up at his stop, and he was 20 years older than you, and he had the wrong eyes. He had entirely the wrong eyes. And I sat there for another 6 stops, going nowhere. Just sitting, just not ready to get off yet. I'm apologizing to strangers who look like you, and one day I'll stop looking. I know that's true. One day my eyes will pass a code and keep on walking. Won't reach out, won't stop, won't lose their place. But right now grief is going out without me finding you in every almost familiar face. I'm apologizing to strangers who look like you, because my eyes were trained to love you, and they haven't learned to stop. Wrong eyes every time. Wrong eyes every time. I have excellent posture in public these days. I stand like someone who has nothing to hide. I make eye contact at appropriate intervals, and laugh at the right things, and move through the right side of every room I'm in, like I belong there, like the inside of me matches what they see. And nobody has looked close enough to notice that I'm bruised, just not where anyone can see. It's not the kind that shows up in the face, not the red-eyed kind, not the hollow-cheeked. It's the kind that sits 2 inches below the sternum, the kind that only hurts when something presses it. A song, a smell, a Tuesday, the particular light of a certain kind of afternoon. Bruised, but not where anyone can see. Somewhere in the middle of me, where the outside stays composed and keeps on going, and the inside has a thing never here. I went to a party and I stayed the whole time. Made conversation, had a drink, was present. Someone told me I seemed really well, and I said thank you like a person without something pressing just behind their ribs the whole evening. Like a thumb on a bruise through the fabric of a shirt, the pain of it familiar and specific, and entirely mine to carry and to hide and to hold. There is a cost to the composure, to being the one who manages it well. You get praise for your resilience, and you learn to take the compliment and never let them see the bruise that proves the resilience has a price. Bruised but not where anyone can see. Somewhere in the middle of me, where the outside stays composed and keeps on going, and the inside has a thing it cannot free. I function, I show up, I do the work, I answer every question with the version they can hear. Bruised but not where anyone can see, and the bruise is always there, just never here. Just never here. I pressed it last night just to check the way you press a bruise, to see if it's still tender. Sat in the quiet and let myself go back there, all the way back, all the way in, just to confirm it was still real, that I hadn't imagined the whole weight of it. Still real, still 2 inches below the sternum, still mine, still exactly as tender as the night you left. Bruised but not where anyone can see, and maybe that's just where it has to live, in the part of me that learned to keep on moving, while another part refuses to forgive the loss of it, the sheer specific weight of everything I carried and kept hidden and kept clean. Bruised but not where anyone can see, but I can see it, I can always see it, even if it's only me. Still here, still fine. Still here. Still going. My friend said I should get some air, go for a drive, so I got in the car and I went nowhere specific. Just the motorway at midnight, just the yellow lights and the radio playing something I couldn't listen to. I turned it off and drove in the quiet, and the quiet was worse, the quiet was all you. Just the road and the dark and the seat beside me, empty like it's always been since you. I don't know where I'm going, that's sort of the whole point of it. No destination means no arriving, means I don't have to explain the crying to anyone at all. I'm crying in the passenger seat again, except I'm the one who's driving, except there's no one to reach across and ask if I'm okay or if I'm lying. Just the window and the dark and the miles, and whatever's left of me tonight. I'm crying in the passenger seat again, and the road just keeps on going, and so do I. Past the junction where we took the wrong turn, that August laughing at the map app, getting it wrong. We ended up somewhere with a view we didn't plan for, and stayed until the sky went dark and the stars came on. I slowed down at the junction like a reflex, like the car remembered even when I tried not to. Then I kept on driving past the turning and cried the whole next 20 miles or so. There's something about moving that allows it. The crying comes more easily in motion, like grief needs somewhere to arrive at, and the road gives it permission to finally just fall. I'm crying in the passenger seat again, except I'm the one who's driving, except there's no one to reach across and ask if I'm okay or if I'm lying. Just the window and the dark and the miles, and whatever's left of me tonight. I'm crying in the passenger seat again, and the road just keeps on going, and so do I. Drive when I was tired, one hand on the wheel and one across the console, finding my hand in the dark without looking, like you had mapped me, like I was geography. You knew by feel, and I would watch the street lights cross your face, one after one after one, like a slow strobe of everything I loved. And I never said it enough, I never said it enough. I should have said it every single junction, every wrong turn and every unplanned view. I should have told you that driving anywhere with you is already the destination. I'm crying in the passenger seat again. I'm crying and I'm driving and it's fine. There's no one here to see it, and the road doesn't care about this grief of mine. Just the window and the almost morning sky, going pale at the edges, turning light. I'm crying in the passenger seat again, and the road just keeps on going, and so do I. And so do I. Still going, still going, still going. You had your coat on and your bag already at your shoulder. The conversation over, or that's how it seemed. I stood there at the door with something in my throat, a sentence or a question or a plea. I can't be sure now what exactly it was going to be, whether it was wait or please or stay, whether it was I love you one last time, or I'm sorry, or just something in between. It never left, it never found the air. You said take care, and I said yeah, and the door was there between us and then wasn't, and the the hallway did its hallway thing of swallowing the sound of two people finishing. And everything I didn't say stayed standing in the room. Everything I didn't say at the door has been living in my chest since you walked out. All the words I swallowed at the moment that they would have mattered most, without a doubt. I had one threshold and I stood there silent, one chance and I gave it to the air. Everything I didn't say at the door is still here, waiting to be said to someone who's no longer there. I've rehearsed it 100 times since then, what I should have said when you were standing in the frame. Each version slightly different, some more honest, some more desperate, some more dignified, some flame. In version 1 I stop you with a question. In version 6 I say the thing I meant. In version 12 I just say thank you for every ordinary day we ever spent together, just together, just that. But none of the versions got to breathe that evening. I gave the moment to the end, the take care, to words that meant nothing and meant everything, depending on which side of the door you were. Carrying them away from me into a street I couldn't follow you down. Everything I didn't say at the door has been living in my chest since you walked out. All the words I swallowed at the moment that they would have mattered most, without a doubt. I had one threshold and I stood there silent, one chance and I gave it to the air. Everything I didn't say at the door is still here, waiting to be said to someone who's no longer there. Here's what I didn't say. I was frightened, not of losing you specifically, though that too, but of the specific silence after. Particular sound a room makes when someone has just left it for the last time and it doesn't know yet. That's what I was standing in, that exact sound, and my mouth couldn't find a word bigger than it. So I said nothing. I said yeah. I said take care. Say at the door, I'm saying it now to a room that can't reply. I loved you past the point of making sense. I was terrified and I was trying and I tried to find the word for what I needed you to hear. In the second before the door took you away, everything I didn't say at the door is said now into nothing, and that's okay. Said now, said now, said now. Nobody tells you about the portion sizes when they sit you down and say this relationship is done. Nobody mentions that the smallest bag of salad still goes off before you eat it on your own. That everything in supermarkets is designed for two people, minimum a household of pair. And standing in the vegetable aisle Working out if I can eat 6 peppers before they die is not something I was prepared for, to be fair. I've started buying things in their smallest quantities, the singleton, the half loaf, the 1 pair. And each time the cashier rings it through without comment, I feel a complicated mix of grateful and completely seen for exactly what I am right now. Grocery shopping, for one, is a whole thing. Nobody warned me and I wish they had. The maths of it, the quantities, the logic of reconfiguring a life that was built for 2 down to 1. And it's not sad exactly, well, it's a little bit sad. Honestly, it's quite sad. Grocery shopping, for one, is a whole thing, and I'm getting good at it slowly, sort of. I used to just put things in the trolley without thinking. 2, this a big one, or that a sharing bag. The unconscious arithmetic of coupled living. The casual will get through it, grab the large. Now I stand in front of things and do the calculation. Will I actually eat this before Thursday rolls around? I bought a medium avocado on a Tuesday. Optimistic as it turned out, unforgivably so. There's a particular freedom in the basket versus the trolley. I've downgraded willingly, because the trolley echoes when it's mostly empty. And I've had enough of things that echo back at me in the spaces where you were. Grocery shopping, for one, is a whole thing. Nobody warned me and I wish they had. The maths of it, the quantities, the logic of reconfiguring a life that was built for 2 down to 1. And it's not sad exactly, well, it's a little bit sad. Honestly, it's quite sad. Grocery shopping, for one, is a whole thing, and I'm getting good at it slowly, sort of. Same thing last Saturday, same basket, same careful math, same single pair. Our eyes met over the reduced to clear section, and we shared a look that said, we know, we know, we know. The specific Wednesday night of it, the fluorescent overhead of it, the half loaf and the single yogurt, and the optimistic medium avocado of it all. And we didn't say a word, and it was the most understood I've felt in months. Grocery shopping, for one, is a whole thing, and I'm part of a very specific club now. The basket people, the singleton people, the did you know they sell individual eggs people, who learn the mathematics of the smaller life and find it's not as small as it first felt. Grocery shopping, for one, is a whole thing, and I'm getting good at it. Actually, I think 1 pair, that's enough. What you've done to me, can't even function without you. I'm out here looking so crazy. What am I supposed to do without you? You don't even miss me. I've tried so hard, but I can't move on. My mama, she doesn't know me, and now I don't even know myself. Oh, and I'm crying, I can't stop crying. No, 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 no. looking like such a fool without you. What am I supposed to do? I've tried so hard, but I can't move on. And I don't even miss me, the old me. I don't know where she's gone. My mama, she doesn't know me, and now I don't even know myself. Oh, and I'm crying, I can't stop crying. I folded it the way you always folded it, arms crossed behind, the neck tucked underneath. Put it in a bag with a few other things and left it with a mutual friend to pass along discreet. I didn't make a thing of it, just handled it, the practical logistics of a life unwinding slow, and told myself that giving back the objects was the healthy thing, the right thing, letting go. And then the cold came back, the cold I hadn't noticed wasn't there. It used to hang on the back of my bedroom door. I'd wear it in the mornings when the flat was cold. It smelled like you for weeks, and then like me, and then like something in between the two of us, and then like nothing. And I sent it back before the nothing settled. I gave your sweater back, but not the cold. The cold it kept away is still here, filling up the space. I thought returning things would feel like releasing, but it mostly felt like vacancy took place of something warm that had no right to stay, and yet its leaving left me colder than before. I gave your sweater back, but not the cold, and now I'm standing in it every morning on the floor. I've been wearing my own jumpers ever since, the ones that fit correctly, mine alone. But something in the fit is different somehow, like a key that works the lock but isn't home. I know this doesn't make a lot of sense. I know a jumper is a jumper at the end, but the one I reach for in the dark pre-coffee morning is a shape that is no longer there to lend its specific warmth, its particular weight. There's a hook behind my bedroom door, still empty, the outline of a habit on the wall. I thought about hanging something else there, but the space seems to remember what it held and refuses other things. For now, just for now, I gave your sweater back, but not the cold. Warmth is not just temperature, that's what I'm learning in the cold of it. Warmth is presence, weight, the specific gravity of someone in a room who wants to be in it. All the jumpers in the world are just fabric in the absence of that. Just threads and wool and shape, and nothing on the hook behind the door, and nothing in the morning reaching for what isn't there. What will be there again one day, just not yet. I gave your sweater back, but not the cold. And I'm learning how to generate my own warmth, slowly and perfectly, without the shortcut of a hook behind a door that isn't empty, isn't waiting for a thing to call its own. I gave your sweater back and kept the cold, and I'm learning what it means to warm a room by just being in it. Just me, just my own warmth, just this room. Still cold, getting warmer. Still cold, getting warmer. I found one about that band you loved in college, the one reforming for a run of shows next spring. My thumb was halfway to your name before I caught it, that old familiar reaching for the sharing thing. I saved it anyway, I don't know why I saved it. Added to the folder I've been keeping since May. 40-something articles and videos and voice notes, all addressed to you with nowhere now to go. Nowhere now to go. Loving someone teaches you their interest, rewires what you notice in the world. Now everything I read becomes a message to someone I'm not allowed to reach anymore. The algorithm kept on learning who you were, even after you had gone. I keep saving articles to show you things I know you'd love, things that sound like you. A folder full of everything I found in the world since you stopped being someone I could show things to. The reflex didn't get the memo, still fires every time I read your kind of thing. I keep saving articles to show you, and the folder just keeps growing, and I keep There's one about the city where you grew up, the change in something on the street you always talked about. There's one about a study on the thing you were convinced of. Turns out you were right, and I would love to tell you that right now. There's one about the restaurant that closed last winter, the one we said we'd try and then we never did. I found its last review and saved it for you anyway. Don't ask me why, I genuinely don't know why I did. I just did. Maybe it's a way of staying tethered, of keeping you as someone in my life, even just as someone that the world reminds me of, even just as that never get sent, that just pile up in silence. I keep saving articles to show you things I know you'd love, things that sound like you. A folder full of everything I found in the world since you stopped being someone I could show things to. The reflex didn't get the memo, still fires every time I read your kind of thing. I keep saving articles to show you, and the folder just keeps growing. And I open up the folder on a Tuesday just to see what I've been holding on to since you left. 47 things in 7 months, 47 moments where the world looked like you. And I thought he'd laugh at this. He'd send me 3 voice notes about this one. He'd disagree with this completely and be wrong. He'd save this one himself and never mention it. 47 things, 47 times I missed you without meaning to. In the middle of a perfectly ordinary day, I keep saving articles to show you. Maybe one day I'll delete the folder clean, or maybe I'll decide to keep on filling with all the world's reminders of what we could have been. Reading about 47 things and more. The reflex is the last love language left. I keep saving articles to show you, and somewhere in that folder I keep finding you. Still saving, still saving. Flat white, 2 sugars, oat milk, not dairy. Extra shot on Mondays, never on a Friday. Iced in summer even when it wasn't warm enough. Because you like the cold, you always like the cold that way. I knew it by the 3rd week without asking. Had it waiting on the counter when you came through the door. And now I'm standing in a queue and I still know it. And there's nobody to order it for anymore. All this useless love I'm still carrying, all these tiny perfect things I memorized. Your coffee and your coat size and the side you slept on, the playlist that you needed to fall asleep at night. A whole library of you, checked out for someone who returned no books. I learned your coffee order for nothing, learned the way you take your tea in winter too. Learned your favorite table in the corner by the window, learned the things that only someone close to you would do. I learned your coffee order and 100 other things that live in me like languages I'll never speak again. I learned your coffee order for nothing, and I still know it, I still know it even now. You check your phone before your eyes adjust. No, you hate the overhead light, use the lamp instead. No, the scar above you left me from the cycling accident. No, the way you always always talk to fill the silence. Going to bed, I know the joke that always made you laugh too hard, and the one that always landed slightly wrong. I know the version of you nobody else gets access to, and I'm not allowed to know it anymore. It doesn't belong to me anymore. All this careful study of a person, all this patient learning over time, 2 years of paying close attention, and now the knowledge isn't mine to use, it's just mine to carry, nowhere to put it down. I learned your coffee order for nothing, learned the way you take your tea in winter too, learned your favorite table in the corner by the window, learned the things that only someone close to you would do. I learned your coffee order and 100 other things that live in me like languages I'll never speak again. I learned your coffee order for nothing, and I still know it, I still know it even now. What do you do with all the knowing when the person that you know is gone? Do you just carry it like furniture in rooms that now belong to someone else? Do you forget it slowly like a second language that you spoke fluently and then stopped needing? Or does it stay in you like something built into the walls you didn't know you were constructing? Flat white, 2 sugars, oat milk, not dairy, extra shot on Mondays, still there, still just there. Maybe knowing you that closely was the whole point, not the keeping, just the time I spent paying close attention to a person, memorizing someone while I had the chance. I learned your coffee order for nothing and everything, and I'd learn it all again. Flat white, 2 sugars. My friend showed me a video at dinner on Friday, the kind of humor you always called too easy, low-hanging, obvious, the kind that doesn't ask you to think too hard, and that was always your whole thesis. Against it, against laughing at the simple things, the punchline you could see arriving from the start. And I laughed so hard I had to put my fork down, and something small and warm unlocked inside my heart. And the laugh surprised me, the real one, the one from somewhere deep. Not the social laugh, not the polite one, the kind I hadn't heard from me in weeks. And my first thought was, you'd have hated this. And my second thought was, good. I'm laughing at something you'd have hated, and for the first time that feels like relief. My taste is slowly coming back as my own again. My laugh is finding its own key. I spent so long curating what I found funny through the filter of your particular eye, and here I am laughing at something you'd have hated. And it feels a little bit like saying hi to myself. making different choices in the small things, the podcasts and the playlist and the shows. Things I'd skipped because your taste ran slightly different. Things I'd softened or adjusted. No one knows how many tiny quiet compromises accumulate into a life that isn't quite entirely yours. I watched 3 episodes of something you'd have mocked and loved it, and I didn't feel the need to justify it or defend it at all, not at all. And I'm not saying that your taste was wrong or that I didn't love the things we shared, just that I had some things beneath that got quietly folded away somewhere, and they're finding their way back to me, one silly video at a time. I'm laughing at something you'd have hated, and for the first time that feels like relief. My taste is slowly coming back as my own again. My laugh is finding its own key. I spent so long curating what I found funny through the filter of your particular eye, and here I am laughing at something you'd have hated. And it feels a little bit like saying hi to myself. It used to be that laughing felt disloyal, like joy was a betrayal of the grief, like if I was happy then the losing didn't matter, or at least that's what it felt like underneath. But the laugh at Friday dinner wasn't forgetting, it wasn't moving on, it wasn't done. It was just a woman putting down her fork and being briefly, fully someone, finding her own funny after a very long time without one. I'm laughing at something you'd have hated, and I'm not apologizing for the sound. My joy is finding its way back to its own shape, and I'm letting it come around. I'm watching things you wouldn't understand. I'm laughing at the easy, obvious punchline. I'm laughing at something you'd have hated, and that's the sound of me coming back around, finding my funny, finding my funny. I keep dreaming a version where you don't go, where I say the thing I didn't say in time, where the conversation takes a different turning and we find our way back somehow through the part where it was almost fine. The dream keeps changing every night, a new draft, different rooms, different words, different light, but the ending is always the same. I wake up and it's morning, and you're still not here, and it's still that night. My sleeping mind is working on the problem, running every variable again. What if I had said it differently? What if I had been a little less and more of the things that maybe would have kept you? My subconscious won't accept the ending, it keeps submitting new goodbye, one where I held on longer, one where you decided to stay and try, one where neither of us said the thing that broke it, one where we were brave enough to fix it before the end. I'm rewriting the end in my sleep, and every morning waking up to the same one again. Last night you were laughing in the kitchen. Something had said that I can't remember now. Your face so easy, so unremarkably happy. The dream so specific and so wrong somehow. Because you were there but the light was off, and the kitchen kept changing every time I looked. And I knew I was dreaming even in the dream, but I refused to let myself be shook. Awake, not yet, not yet awake. The cruelest part is always the returning, the ceiling and the pale particular gray of a morning that has no interest in my dreaming. It arrives the same regardless what I say, in the kitchen of a version that is fiction, with the light that isn't right and won't stay lit. I'm rewriting the end in my sleep, every night a different version of goodbye, one where I held on longer, one where you decided to stay and try, one where neither of us said the thing that broke it, one where we were brave enough to fix it before the end. I'm rewriting the end in my sleep, and every morning waking up to the same one again. In the dream last Thursday, I looked straight at you and said, I know this isn't real. I know I'm gonna wake up in a minute, and you're gonna be gone again. But can we just stay here in this wrong kitchen with the wrong light for a little bit longer, just a little bit longer? And the dream said yes, and then the morning said no. I'm rewriting the end in my sleep, and none of the versions ever hold. Every draft dissolves at the alarm, every almost saved ending goes cold. But maybe that's just what the nights are for now, the revision room the waking life won't get. I'm rewriting the end in my sleep, and one night I'll dream an ending I can finally live with. One more draft, one more draft. On the inside, on the outside too. On the inside, on the outside too. Sometimes I do. On the outside too. Maybe we go back there in the autumn. That was the plan, loosely, nothing booked. Maybe we'd get better about the Sundays. Maybe we'd fix the thing we never looked at directly, the one we kept on circling, that lived in the room but never had a name. Maybe next year, maybe when things settle. All your maybes, and I kept everyone. I kept everyone. I have a drawer inside my chest somewhere, where all the unresolved things went to wait. The half-made plans, the conversations pending, the futures that arrived a little late, past the point of being any use to anyone, but too precious still to throw away. The drawer where I keep all your maybes is full to the edges now and won't quite close. All the almost plans and the we'll see some days folded up and kept past where the hoping goes. I know they're expired, I know they're over, I know maybe with no future is just air. But the drawer where I keep all your maybes is still here, and so is everything inside it still there. Maybe we learned to cook something complicated. You found a class we never quite enrolled. Maybe we'd visit someone that we kept on meaning to, before the gap between us got too old to close without an effort neither of us made in time. We meant to, just not yet. All your maybes had an optimism to them that assumed a later I haven't managed to forget. Maybe it's the kindest kind of promise, no pressure, nothing binding, just a door left open in the hallway of a future that neither of us knew we'd lose before we got to walk through it. We just never got to walk through it. The drawer where I keep all your maybes is full to the edges now and won't quite close. All the almost plans and the we'll see some days folded up and kept past where the hoping goes. I know they're expired, I know they're over, I know maybe with no future is just air. But the drawer where I keep all your maybes is still here. and so is everything inside it still there. Maybe the trip we never booked to Lisbon, maybe the dog you said we'd get eventually, maybe the Sunday mornings we kept promising ourselves with nowhere to be and nothing we had urgently to do, just slow and quiet and unhurried, the version of a life we kept on almost starting. Maybe the version of us that was coming, the one that had worked through all the harder parts, the one that was just around the corner. Maybe, just maybe, just maybe, the drawer where I keep all your maybes, I'm going to leave it open for a while, not because I think they're gonna happen, but because closing it feels like the end of something that deserves a longer goodbye. The almost trips and the almost mornings, the almost version of us almost arriving, the drawer where I keep all your maybes is the kindest thing I own. All that hope, all that lovely expired hope. Maybe, 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 maybe. I found it in my camera roll at 2 a.m. on Thursday. Scrolling back through months I thought I'd let go of. Your mid-laugh at something just outside the frame, and I'm looking at you, looking at whatever it was. Neither of us looking at the camera, neither of us knowing this was it, the last photo where we're both genuinely smiling. Neither of us posed for what came after it, after it. I know the date, I know the place, I know the hour roughly, I know it was 3 weeks before the end, and neither of us would have guessed it looking at us. We look like people with a future, we look like people who don't know yet, the most expensive kind of innocent. The last photo where we're both smiling, neither of us knew to hold it longer. No dramatic last goodbye, no closing chapter, just a Sunday that kept going till it didn't. The last photo where we're both still us, before the conversation that undid us. A second of a life we were still living, that I keep returning to as if I could stay in it. I've looked at it so many times, the pixels feel familiar. The crease of your jacket, the light behind your head. There's someone else's elbow at the bottom right-hand corner from a table next to ours I never noticed in all the months before you left. I know the photo better now than I knew the moment. The way grief turns a second into scripture, finds the meaning in the ordinary light that was just ordinary light before it all went wrong. Before it all went wrong. There are 14 photos from the week before, one of us smiling, one of us not quite, and then this one in the middle. there, just genuinely there. The last photo where we're both smiling, neither of us knew to hold it longer. No dramatic last goodbye, no closing chapter, just a Sunday that kept going till it didn't. The last photo where we're both still us, before the conversation that undid us. A second of a life we were still living, that I keep returning to as if I could stay in it. I wanna reach into the photo and tap myself on the shoulder and say, look at him, really look at him right now. Not at whatever's just outside the frame. Look at the way the light is sitting on his collar. Look at what your face does when he laughs. You have approximately 23 more Sundays, and then this is the last one that looks like this. So pay attention, for the love of everything. Pay attention. What your face does and what mine allows, when you are the thing that I'm beside. When I don't know it's the last time to be. The last photo where we're both still smiling is the only thing I have left that looks like us, that looks like we still smiling, still smiling. Call you, but if I call you up, will it be enough to make you come back home? I'm so tired of crying when I'm not enough to make you come back home. My bed is so cold, just hit me. He don't miss me, and it just hit me. He don't miss me. I wanna run, but I'm paralyzed. How could I move on when you feel like home? I'm tired of trying when I'm not enough to make you come back home. My bed is so cold, 4th month after you. Just quietly and without announcement, the way a tree drops leaves without deciding to. I started sleeping earlier, reading longer, cooking things I'd always been too tired to try. I started being someone I had always meant to be, and I couldn't tell you even if I tried. Even if I tried. She's quieter than the one you knew, and less apologetic about the space she takes. She asks for things directly now, and she doesn't shrink herself to make other people comfortable in rooms. She's still learning, but she's learning fast. There's a version of me you never got to meet. She came after you, she grew out of the leaving. She knows what she deserves now, knows what she needs. She's still sad sometimes, but she stopped the grieving for a version of herself that always waited, for a life that needed someone else to start. There's a version of me you never got to meet, and some days I'm so glad, and some days it breaks my heart. I went to see a show alone on a Thursday. Stood in the crowd and didn't need to check if you were fine. Didn't scan the room to read your mood in the half-light. Just stood there and let the music just be mine. I made a friend at work who makes me laugh too loudly. I said yes to something frightening in the spring. I'm building something small and quietly remarkable, and the strange part is you're not missing anything. You're just not here for it. She still thinks about you Tuesday morning, still catches herself reaching for the phone, but the reaching gets a little shorter every week now, and the landing is a little more like home. She's not finished, not even close, but she's more herself than she has ever been. There's a version of me you never got to meet. She came after you, she grew out of the knows what she deserves now, knows what she needs. She's still sad sometimes, but she stopped the grieving for a version of herself that always waited, for a life that needed someone else to start. There's a version of me you never got to meet, and some days I'm so glad, and some days it breaks my heart. I wonder if you'd recognize her if you passed her on the street. The way she holds her shoulders back, the way she doesn't rush to speak. She has the same laugh, same eyes, same hands, but something in her settled, something in her found the ground that she was always reaching for while you were there. And she was small, and the sound of her was turned too far down. I think you'd like her. I think that's the part that hurts the most, that the version of me you would have loved the best is the one that only arrived after you were gone. There's a version of me you never got to meet, and she is standing here and she is real. She came after you, she grew out of the leaving, and she's learning every day what whole can feel like. Open like enough, like hers entirely, like a life that doesn't doesn't need to wait to start. There's a version of me you never got to meet, and I am introducing her right now to my own heart. She's here. She's here. It was a Wednesday. I know because I checked. 3 calls between 7:30 and 8:30. I was in the middle of a dinner I'd been dreading. Smiled at my phone and set it face down on the plate. I thought I'd call you back on the way home. I thought there'd be a Tuesday after this one. I thought the world was patient enough to wait for the things I kept on putting off until I had more time, until I had more time. There are things that can't be rescheduled, calls that only come around once. And I was at a dinner I don't remember, and you were on the other side of something I will never get to name. I will never know what for. 3 missed calls I'll never return. 3 chances I sat still and let burn. 7:30, 8:30 on a Wednesday in November. Your name on my screen 3 times, and I said later. I said later. I said later. I said later, and later never came. 3 missed calls I'll never return, and I would give everything to let the phone ring one more time. I've been through everything I know about that evening. The dinner, the walk home, the cup of tea I made. I went to bed without checking back the notifications. Just 3 missed calls from you in the screen's gray shade. I told myself you'd call again if it was urgent, that you'd leave a message, send a text, find a way. But you were quiet because you always hated burdening, and I was quiet because I was tired that day. Just tired. I was just tired that day. I tried to make peace with the not knowing what those 3 calls held that I didn't take. Were you frightened? Were you lonely? Were you reaching? Was it something small that turned into a weight? I don't know, and I will never. And not knowing is its own kind of grave. 3 missed calls I'll never return. 3 chances I sat still and let burn. 7:30, 8:30 on a Wednesday in November. Your name on my screen 3 times, and I said later. I said later. I said later. I said later, and later never came. 3 missed calls I'll never return, and I would give everything to let the phone ring one more time. I keep your number in my phone. I haven't moved it, haven't changed a thing. Some nights I open up the call log and just look at it. Wednesday, 7:34. Wednesday, 7:51. Wednesday, 8:14. And then nothing. Then just nothing. Then the whole rest of my life, knowing what I didn't do on one Wednesday in November, when the phone rang 3 times, and I let it ring. Missed calls I'll never return. Missed calls I'll never return. Missed calls I'll never return. 3 missed calls I'll never return, and I have later. I said later, and the later became never. And never is the longest word I know. Missed calls I'll never return. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I hope you know. Gave it to me on a Thursday in December, wrapped in tissue, nothing special, just because. Said you'd passed the shop and thought of me immediately, which was the kind of thing you did, just because. I've been wearing it since March, since everything. I count the uses roughly in my head. Maybe 30 sprays remaining, maybe 20. And I'm not sure yet what I'll do when the bottle's finished, when it's dead. There's a particular grief in the finite thing, the object that connects and has an end. Not like a memory which blurs but doesn't empty, not like a feeling which returns again and again, but a bottle on a shelf with a count, getting smaller every morning that I use it. I'm wearing the perfume you bought me last, slowly, carefully making it last. Some mornings I skip it just to save a little. Some mornings I can't help it and I have to press the bottle to my wrist and let it settle. And for 3 seconds it's December and you're there. I'm wearing the perfume you bought me last, and when it's gone, I don't know what I'll do with just the air. I've looked it up, they still make it. I could order, arrive in 2 days, same bottle, same name, but it wouldn't be the one your hands had chosen. Standing in a shop thinking of me, that's not a thing they sell. The choosing of it, the thought behind it, that specific December afternoon when you passed the shop and had a small idea and acted on it without being asked to. Just because every object that he touched has a deadline, a point at which it stops being his and starts being just a thing. Just wood or glass or fabric with no memory of the hands that held the parts of it together. Gave it as a gift, made it briefly, beautifully mean something. I'm wearing the perfume you bought me last, slowly, carefully making it last. Some mornings I skip it just to save a little. Some mornings I can't help it and I have to press the bottle to my wrist and let it settle. And for 3 seconds it's December and you're there. I'm wearing the perfume you bought me last, and when it's gone, I don't know what I'll do with just the air. I held it up to the light last night. You can see the level through the glass. Maybe 15 sprays, maybe 10. I've been rationing since August, and it's nearly come to the end of what I'm able to preserve. I thought about just keeping the empty bottle, the ghost of it on the shelf when it runs out. But a bottle with no scent is just a bottle, and a gift with nothing in it is just doubt that I ever knew how to hold anything without eventually using it up. I'm wearing the perfume you bought me last, and when it's gone I'll let it go. I'll buy the new bottle and I'll wear it differently. A sack that's mine alone and doesn't know December or the shop or the tissue paper or the way you thought of me without a reason. I'm wearing the perfume you bought me last, and today I'm letting myself wear it without saving it, all of it today. Just because. Just because. You left on a Sunday at the end of July. The windows were open, everything was yellow. The neighbors were barbecuing 3 gardens over, and the whole world smelled like summer saying hello. I stood at the door in the heat and watched you go, your car at the end of the road, then the corner, then gone. And somewhere in the closing of that Sunday afternoon, my internal season just stopped. The calendar kept moving. I did not. August came and I was still in July. September came and I was still in July. October dressed the trees in gold and red and falling, and I was at the door in the heat, watching your car reach the corner. Over and over, over and over again. You left in summer, I'm still in winter. You moved through seasons I didn't get to see. The world has turned a full rotation since that Sunday, and I'm still standing in the same July heat, freezing. Everyone around me talks about the spring, the new things growing, the light coming back around. You left in summer, I'm still in winter, and I don't know how to thaw. I don't know how to thaw. My friends went to a festival in August without me. I said I wasn't feeling it, and that was true enough. I watched the photos come in from the field in the sunshine, everyone in color, and I was black and white and numb. November brought the early dark, and I was grateful for the outside finally matching what was going on inside. At least in winter everyone expects the cold, at least in winter no one asks you why you're not outside. Outside, out in the light. And Christmas came with all its forced occasions, the tinsel and the table and the trying to seem fine. I smiled at the right moments, pulled the crackers, and thought about the Sunday at the end of July. The barbecue smell, the yellow afternoon, your car at the corner going out of view. You left in summer, I'm still in winter. You moved through seasons I didn't get to see. The world has turned a full rotation since that Sunday, and I'm still standing in the same July heat, freezing. Everyone around me talks about the spring, the new things growing, the light coming back around. You left in summer, I'm still in winter, and I don't know how to thaw. I don't know how to thaw. truck with you in it. The fan on the floor, the windows all the way down, ice in a glass at 10 at night on the back step. The sky still faintly lit at that ridiculous hour. You had sunburn on your shoulders from the weekend, and you were reading something you kept quoting loud. And I was watching you and thinking, this is exactly it. This is what I want my whole life to feel like. This precise temperature, this specific light, this version of a Tuesday night forever. And now the summer is the thing I mourn, not just you, but the whole season. The warmth itself became your texture, and when you left, you took the heat, you took the heat with you. You left in summer, I'm still in winter. I watched the whole year turn without me in it. The world has moved from January back to January, and I'm still at the door and you were still at the corner. Going, everyone around me is already into spring, already past the worst, already in the new light. You left in summer, I'm still in winter. But somewhere in this cold, something small is trying. Something very small is trying to grow right. Still in winter, still in winter, but the days are getting